Hello there, welcome to this video, which before I start I would just like to say here and now is being shown on two of my YouTube channels, not just this one but my other one. If you're watching this one on my personal YouTube channel, Peter Gooding, then it is also on my hobby YouTube channel, which is called Mini Warzone. And if you're watching it on Mini Warzone, then obviously it is also going to be on my personal channel. So I'm not going to be talking in the style that I normally talk when I'm like doing my hobby channel, but I wanted to get this out there. I want it on both channels because I can easily refer to it then through other sources. I know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. And to be truthful, it's not going to have a huge impact on like a hobby channel or anything like that. Once it's published, it's published, and you know, people move on. But I can at least then refer people back to it if needs be. Now, I wanted to do this video to hopefully inspire people, maybe like myself, who have a hidden disability. As you know, if you're here on my especially my personal channel, you know I've got MS. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I don't know, 8 years ago maybe now. And they said at the time, according to our tests and everything else, we estimate you must have had this condition for approximately 10 years. And I thought, wow, you know. Okay. Now at the time I was working for Royal Mail, okay, and in quite a good job there. And the problem is they were looking to downsize, and they were offering redundancies, and you know, to downsize the staff. And at the time when I had my diagnosis, I wasn't in a good place mentally. I was still reeling from the impact of this information overload of my, you know, my gosh, I got this disease, and how is it going to affect my life? Am I going to be wheelchair bound, and am I going to wake up blind or deaf or paralyzed or whatever? And of course, the nature of MS, you just don't know. So I wasn't in the best kind of frame of mind when the company sort of said to me, well, look, we've got this redundancy medical retirement package, put it to you. And it did seem too good to be true. Not too good to be true, but it seemed like, you know, silly to turn it down. So I took it. But it did enable me to build this wonderful studio that I have here now. But the thing, I'm telling you this because, you know, I feel like I'm having to go back in time a long ways. And I know if anybody watches this on my personal channel, they probably come here from like an MS help group or something like that. I've given my story about how I was diagnosed and all that, and I've given a kind of a document as to why I started my hobby. Key point here: if you have something like this, get yourself a hobby. It helps you focus, it keeps you grounded, and stops your mind playing, you know, silly buggers with you, essentially, and it helps you to focus on the here and the now, and also to immerse yourself in a bit of, you know, fantastical enjoyment, you know, whether you're reading, writing, knitting, whatever you're doing, it doesn't really matter. I like miniature building and painting, so that's my hobby. Head on over to Mini Warzone if you aren't there already. And my personal channel it's not a channel I'm trying to grow. As you can see by the number of subscribers, I don't have that many on this personal channel. I have more on my hobby channel because this is the one, you know, there that I'm trying to grow. But coming on to the bit I want to talk about, which is working. So I was medically retired, okay, and for a while it was good. It was great. I had a lot of free time. I wasn't bored because I quickly got myself a hobby, writing, which I wanted to do before I went to university, which is actually why I went to university, I thought it would help me become a writer, a better writer, shall I say, for my English degree and media degree. But you know the story. Some of you know the story about how I was trying to write a specific scene, and I thought, why don't I build it? Which is what got me onto the modelling hobby, essentially. And I ended up in Games Workshop, and they played me for a demo game, and I was like hooked instantly. The rest is history, as they say. So things were going well. Okay, I was coping with the nuances of my disease, learning all the time, discovering about the fatigue and how to recognize the signs and symptoms. And if it's new to you, if you've been newly diagnosed, now you've got a lot of. I think you've got a lot more help nowadays than you did back when I was diagnosed. There was really nothing. I was kind of like, well, there you go. You got your diagnosis, like off you go, sort of thing. Someone will be in touch, and it was kind of like a bit shocking to the system. But the point I want to make on this video is getting back into the workplace, because of course the money ran out after a while. After a few years, I don't know, maybe 4 years, I thought, right, okay, funds are getting low now. Time to get back to the workplace. I need to be working, and it was so hard. I'm sure you finding the same thing. At the time, I was finding that because I have MS, and some people are saying, well, you should declare it if you're going for employment, and they want to know why you've had a gap, in between jobs. And so I felt, you declare my MS, which made sense, right? Because an employer will then know, yeah, I've got a disability, and perhaps they can help me in the workplace. But what I found was, all it did was make it that much harder for me to get a job. I was having to look for jobs, like retail jobs and shop work and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it wasn't good for me in a physical sense. Anything that involves, heavy lifting or being around dangerous things like shelf corners and things like that. I mean, I got myself a job in Sainsbury's, sort of stock replenishment and a bit of till work here and there. But I had a fall. I fell. I hit my head on the corner of a shelf, and it was not good. Getting on your hands and knees to get to the bottom shelf, it's just not good. I thought, I'll try and get back into Royal Mail. I secured a position of postman delivery. I thought, well, okay, that's cool. It's not what I was doing exactly before in Royal Mail. I was in the office and data entry and that kind of thing. I thought, I'll get back into Royal Mail this way. But physically, I just couldn't do it. I wasn't up to the task. To cut a long story short, I collapsed. I had a complete physical shutdown. My body went, no, that's enough now. So I had to give up that job, which I was gutted for, because it's such a good job and it's a great place to work, and people you work with are really good as well. So I left there. The only other job I could get again was another retail job, back to a supermarket. This time I was doing personal shopping, so I was picking people's orders. But again, I found the physicality of the job was just too much for me. I couldn't do anything more than about 25 hours a week. I was in constant physical agony. The number of times you've got to get down to the bottom shelf, which means you've got to get on your hands and knees and get to the stock at the back of the shelf, and you're helping customers and all that other stuff. It couldn't go on, and I knew, looking at it, I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is going to be the end of me, this job, if I don't sort it out now. So when this pandemic hit, I was told to go home and shield for many months. So I thought, right, you're not going to get another chance an opportunity like this, Pete. So start doing some courses, and I did. I put myself through some online courses, and you know, I did like some word processing courses and spreadsheet courses, and Outlook, and I did a digital marketing course as well, and a couple of others, and it helped me get another job more suitable to my physical condition. So what I'm saying to you guys is, if I can do it, you can do it. Now I know if you're already in a if you're in a kind of a part-time job situation, it's difficult to find the time you need to study, but it is easier than if you have a full-time position right now. So, you know, look at places like Allison.com, you know, Google Garage and Digital Garage and that kind of thing. And there are many free courses out there. Sometimes with applications like Word, that you'll be learning the application as it was a year or two ago. But by and large, they're pretty much, you know, the same. So what, you know, if you want to get yourself into a more office or admin based role, do it. Just go for it. I trust me that if you do the courses, you put the time in and the effort, it will reap rewards for you. I can't stress enough. My life has been completely changed around since I've done this. And, you know, I had to take the chance, basically, to come out of a permanent role, which was killing me physically, to take a temporary role in doing something which is not quite so physical for me. Do you know what I mean? So there is that. And of course, I've got my wonderful hobby that I keep up. So the point of this video is to hopefully inspire you guys to show you it is possible. I've done it. You can do it. Go on. I'm just a regular guy who likes modelling. And if you are on Mini Warzone watching this, then you know you can see. I mean, I have a couple of other channels actually, but I haven't put the time into. I mean, my personal channel, like I say, I'm not fussed about subscribers or whatever else. I'm just not. It's just there. You know, I would like to try and start building up my media review channel. That's something I will look into. And YouTube itself is, of course, a hobby. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're already you've got to be familiar with YouTube. As you can see, this is unscripted. I haven't scripted it at all. That's kind of the way I like to roll. Sometimes it can be better to script your videos, but this is pretty raw. I'll cut out any obvious errors, but other than that, you know, I might stick a background behind me, seeing as I've got a green wall behind me, which was the purpose of it. Just tinker around with it. And let me have a look quickly to see. Oh, 13, nearly 14 minutes. I won't keep you too much longer. So this is primarily for my personal channel, but I've put it on here onto Mini Warzone as well. Just something I can go back and refer people to either way. Because I have had questions before when I used to do a Q&A series, on Mini Warzone, and I have had questions relating to MS and how I coped and any advice and that kind of thing, and I can always relate them backwards and forwards and vice versa to these videos. Then I just want it to get a bit more traction because I want to try and inspire people. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Bye.